So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about how to hold your drumsticks. First things first, you want to find something called the Fulcrum Point. And this is a point where you hold your sticks in order to get the most bounce out of them. So if you're holding your stick right at the butt end here, you don't get much bounce. So to the other extreme, let's move it to near the top. You don't get any bounce. So it's going to take a little bit of experimentation, but if you find the point, and so I'm using ProMark Shirakashi Oak PW5AW drumsticks. They're just wooden drumsticks made of oak from Japan. And you see there's going to be there's a stripe here, and I like to put you wrap your index finger and your thumb, kind of just hold it like this, right? And then you want to curl your fingers around, and what you should be able to do is put your drumstick through. So you don't want to be gripping the stick too tight either when you're playing, because when you're playing drums for extended periods of time, especially, holding your sticks really, really tight and like tense playing is never good playing, because you're going to get very tired and exhausted pretty quickly. So yeah, so let's go back to here. Index finger and your thumb, wrap your finger around, make sure there's some space, and then test it out. So you want to hit the drum, and you want to get maybe 5 or 6 bounces out of it, 3 to 6, I should say. So there's quite a few bounces there. So again, if I move it all the way down, it's not bouncing that well. So where I'm holding it now is just under the lettering on this drumstick. So it's not exactly halfway, it's a little bit less than halfway. So now, in terms of drum grip styles, I sort of transition between 3 of them usually. And I use a mixture of them based on what I want to play based on the song. So if I want something, for example, let's say I want something where I need a lot of control. Let's say I'm doing some fancy ride work. So for that, you would want to use French grip. I use French grip in that scenario because with your thumbs are pointed up, and you get a lot of control with that. All right. The way you do that is, so French grip is with your thumbs pointed up to the air. So you want to grip your stick like we were just doing. Okay. You want a little bit of space, and you want to be able to move your fingers and move the stick freely. So just practice doing that kind of thing. That's what you want to be able to do. You don't want it too tense, and you don't want it too loose. And exactly how it's shown, if you look in the top right, I'm able to move the stick like this, and it'll bounce really well on the cymbal. And I'm getting the stick bouncing back at me while I'm doing that. It's about as fast as I could do it. And same thing with the snare drum. Let's get another view for this one. should be, that should be pretty much effortless, but my thumbs are pointed up in the air, and that's the French grip style. So this being kind of a match grip style as well, both of your hands are doing the exact same thing. So wherever you grip one stick, you're gripping the other stick. The other style that I use as well, and these two are the ones I use the very most, is German grip. So again, it's match grip. So both hands are doing this exact same thing. And let's go back to the other. All right, hello. And with this grip style, we're going to find the fulcrum point that gives us the most bounce. And then you're going to want to turn your palms facing the ground. Okay, so you're playing. Let's get a better angle for this. So my hands are like that. My hands are like this. And what this allows you to do is when you're striking the drum, it's going to give you more power. So I'm going to do a demonstration. Okay, so that gives you a lot of power. It's not that you can't get the same amount of power from the French grip, except I notice that when I'm playing like that and you're striking the drum for a long time, there's a chance for some, it's a little bit uncomfortable for extended periods of times because your wrist might start to hurt and all that. So it's a quick and easy, just, you know, let's say you're playing a section with a lot of control, you need a lot of control. Then you want to switch to a rock part. So if you want any clarification on that sort of thing, just, you know, drop me a line, let me know. And the third style that I sometimes use, not as often as the others, is traditional grip. Okay. So for traditional grip, the stick in your right hand, if you're a right-handed drummer, is held like we were doing before. You can either switch it from French, and you can switch to German, which is palms down, and French is thumbs up pointed up towards the air. And in your right hand, between your middle finger and your ring finger, the stick is going to go in generally the same area of the fulcrum point that we found earlier. And it's just going to sit, let's see, yeah, it's just going to sit like that. And then the butt end of the stick goes in the area between your thumb and your index finger. So then, with your middle finger and your ring finger, you're more or less gripping the stick, and that's kind of where the stick will bounce. And you should be able to move your wrist like that, and the stick can go around. So this might take a little bit of time to get used to. But the history behind of why this style was invented was in march bands way back when. And when they had the snare drum in front of them, when they were walking, they turned it this way so that they were able to reach around the drum and still play all the rudiments that they needed to play. So this kind of it's commonly seen in jazz, or if you just want to look cool and you want to play when you're playing drums. And yeah. It actually makes it really easy to be able to just kind of feather the drum when you're playing. So that's traditional grip. And if you want any more clarification like that, just drop me a line in the comments. I'm going to be putting this, or in the chat here, or in the comments on YouTube. I'm going to be putting this on YouTube. So, yeah. So just to recap, so we got French style, French grip, which is first you find the fulcrum point. You want to find the place where the stick bounces the most. You want to get that. All right, and then once you have that, French grip, you turn your palms not facing up towards the air, but your thumbs are pointing generally straight up in the air. And you want to be able to do this so that when you're moving the rest of your fingers, you're moving the stick so that it bounces really nicely on the cymbals. Same thing with the snare. Same thing with the snare. And then German grip, we're going to turn our palms towards the floor a bit more. So your palms down. And you'll notice that it allows you to get a little bit more power out of your strike when you're striking the drums. So that concludes our drum clinic on drumstick grips, and I hope you enjoyed it. So for the rest of the time that I'm here, I'm just gonna wail away on some drums. If you jump in the chat, that's cool. Love to see you here. If you have any questions, let me know. Just gonna jam out before I get to recording today. I'm gonna do some anime drum covers that I've had requests for.